Welcome back to Haunted Trail, True Camping Horrors. Tonight, we journey into a chilling mystery, the disappearance in what locals ominously call Wendigo Woods. This is Episode 5, focusing on a case that defies explanation, where the wilderness seems to swallow people whole. In the summer of 1997, the Miller family, David, Clara, and their 10-year-old son, Ethan, embarked on what they hoped would be a peaceful camping trip. Experienced outdoors enthusiasts, they were drawn by the pristine beauty of northern Ontario. Their destination? A seldom-used trail leading deep into the forested expanse. A place known for its breathtaking vistas and, unbeknownst to them, its darker legends.
That primal desire for untouched nature often draws people into places like Wendigo Woods, escaping the city, reconnecting with the earth. The Millers sought exactly that. A week away, a chance for Ethan to explore. They meticulously packed, shared their route with family, and were last seen at a small general store at the wilderness edge, their faces alight with adventure. No one could have predicted this idyllic getaway would become a terrifying, unsolved enigma.
Days turned into a week. The Millers were due back on a Sunday, but Monday passed, then Tuesday, with no word. Their extended family grew increasingly alarmed. By Wednesday, a missing persons report was filed. The remoteness of Wendigo Woods meant a significant delay in launching a full-scale search. Precious time slipped away as authorities mobilized, battling the vast, unforgiving landscape. When search teams finally reached the approximate location of the Millers' campsite, what they found was deeply unsettling.
Imagine that moment, Marcus. A small clearing, deep in the woods, the scent of pine and damp earth heavy in the air. The tent was still standing, zipped shut. Inside, their sleeping bags, cooking equipment, even their half-eaten breakfast, all perfectly preserved, untouched. Their backpacks, fishing gear, and David's camera were all there. But there was no sign of David, Clara, or Ethan. No signs of struggle, nothing to suggest a hurried departure or an attack. It was as if they had simply stepped out for a moment and never returned. The absence was deafening, the silence eerie.
The abandoned camp discovery ignited a massive search effort. Helicopters, K-9 units, and dozens of ground teams scoured every inch of the surrounding forest for weeks. Every rock, every ravine, every stream was meticulously examined. Yet the wilderness yielded nothing. No footprints, no discarded items, no physical trace of the Millers beyond their pristine campsite. It was an investigation plagued by a profound lack of evidence, a void where answers should have been. The only unusual observations were made by experienced trackers, small, almost deliberate arrangements of branches at the periphery of the search zone.
And that's where the true chill sets in. Beyond the lack of bodies, the absence of any struggle or even a discarded candy wrapper from young Ethan, the forest, usually full of clues, seemed to actively resist giving up its secrets. These strange branch patterns, described by some as resembling symbols, were dismissed by many as coincidental. But for those on the ground, especially indigenous trackers, there was an unspoken feeling of unease. The woods were holding something back.
As the official investigation faltered, local whispers intensified. Wendigo Woods earned its name not just from its dense, foreboding nature, but from ancient indigenous legends. The Wendigo, a malevolent spirit of the Algonquin-speaking peoples, is described as a monstrous entity transformed by insatiable hunger, preying on the weak. Traditionally associated with harsh winters and famine, the Millers' summer disappearance ignited a different kind of fear, a primal dread that settled over the community.
It's fascinating how folklore can seep into reality, especially in isolated communities. While police officially discounted supernatural elements, focusing on human perpetrators or natural causes, for those living near Wendigo Woods, particularly indigenous communities, the legend offered a terrifying, unprovable explanation. It wasn't just a scary story, it was a spiritual warning. This created tension, complicating efforts, as some residents became reluctant to share information, perhaps out of fear.
Nearly 3 decades later, the disappearance of the Miller family remains one of Canada's most perplexing cold cases. Official theories ranged from an elaborate kidnapping with no ransom to a sudden animal attack with no trace of struggle, or the family simply getting lost despite their experience, with no remains found. Each theory has flaws, gaping holes preventing resolution. The case was eventually scaled back, but never officially closed, leaving an enduring stain on the region's history and a haunting question mark.
And that's the most heartbreaking part, isn't it? The lack of closure. For David and Clara's extended families, for Ethan's grandparents, there is no grave to visit, no answers to provide comfort. Just the vast, silent expanse of Wendigo Woods, eternally guarding its secrets. The forest, once a symbol of natural beauty, became synonymous with terror and loss. It serves as a stark reminder of our fragility in the face of untamed wilderness and the inexplicable. The Millers vanished, leaving behind only questions and a haunting